You tune in to Real Talk with Tamara, where conversations are real, voices are heard, and the real stars here. The real stars are real stars here. No filter, no fear. Truth in the mic, let the whole world hear. Stories unfold, voices sincere. Welcome to the place where the real starts here. From life and love to the latest news, community voices, different views, breaking it down so we all stay clear. Honest conversations live right here. Speak your truth, let it be known. This is the space where your voice has a Real Talk with Tamara, where conversations are real, voices are heard, and the real starts here.
I'm getting some type of feedback. I'm trying to see. Oh, okay, I see. I see what it is, y'all.
The real starts here. The real starts here. No filter, no fear. Truth in the mic, let the whole world hear. Stories unfold, voices sincere. Welcome to the place where the real starts here. From life and love to the latest news, community voices, different views, breaking it down so we all stay clear. Honest conversations live right here. Speak your truth, let it be known. This is the space where your voice has a home. No judgment here, just real and clear. Real Talk with Tamara, the real starts here. Real Talk with Tamara. Real people.
Hello, guys. Look, y'all. I decided to get on. I was like, let me go and get on early because I got to go to the beauty shop. I was supposed to go this morning, and believe it or not, I fell asleep taking those last little braids out last night, but I finished and I treated my hair real good. Even though I'm going to the shop, I wanted to use some of the stuff that I got. And I've been wearing my hair for a while because those braids and wearing those hair extensions these girls now, and with definitely the Africans, they do not care about hair care. Braids used to grow your hair, but now they pull your hair so tight, it's so much tension on your scalp, it thins your hair. So what I got to do is I'm going to get a color, and I'm gonna get my hair cut, and I'm gonna just start wearing my real hair for a while, and then I'll go back to the braids when it starts to get really hot. But I'm gonna train my hair. Anyways, you guys, let's see. I see Divine Black Rose, Tyranny, Joy Loves God, Clarinetta, Shan. Y'all, listen, I don't know what went on. I guess trying to get those last braids out. But I was looking at my thing this morning, my email. It was a lot of people on my prayer line waiting for me. And I was up trying to take braids out and totally forgot, but I'll be back on there in the morning, of course. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set my phone to remind me, because when I have things going on like trying to get them braids, I was so frustrated. I've been taking braids out now for I had been for like 2.5 darn days. Anyways, you guys, hey Angel the Real Boss. And I was just talking about the prayer line, Angel the Real Boss. So um I was up and everything, just frustrated trying to get these bracelets because they'll get knotted up. You don't want to cut your hair, and so you have to take the knot out. Like you'll pull it right to the end, and it gets tangled up with your hair. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so frustrated. Anyways, you guys, um, but I'll be back on there in the morning. It was a lot of people on there waiting for me this morning. I was looking at the email; it sends me a notification. So I really apologize. I saw some new people waiting and everything. I was like, oh my God. But that prayer line definitely works. It helps me, especially in the mornings, getting ready for work and all of that. Thank you, Clarinetta, for becoming a new member. You guys, I want to talk about crime and politics in the Black community. Is out of control. I was looking at Coat Figure, okay, and I'm gonna pull up a video of Coat Figure because I know a lot of times we give a lot of flack to men as it relates to, them. Some men, not all men. There are a lot of good fathers, that take care of their children. They're great role models, and we have to take our hats off to those fathers. I think it is a small percentage that actually make a lot of those men that are great fathers or want to be great fathers look bad. But oftentimes because a lot of mothers are single mothers, and they, we struggle to take care of our children or whatever, or just have a hard time. It's hard raising kids and trying to provide, especially when you're doing it by yourself. But I think that so we kind of give a lot of women a pass, and it's a lot of women go through so much emotionally. Let me just say that that have mentally broken them. You have, unfortunately, I think there's a system set in place where men kind of brag about trying to mentally break Black women, right? And that's something that they're going to have to get over. And once they get past that system that has been put in place and that is promoting doing that, that's when they'll start to be blessed more, right? But there are a lot of women that are totally messed up. We have to blame a lot of them too for bad parenting. It's one thing to struggle. Just because you struggle does not mean that you are a bad parent. People got the issues confused. There are a lot of people that struggle, but they teach their children morals. They do the best that they can morally and all of that. Just because you might be poor, you don't have all those things, or you're not able to give your kids all those things that they would want or need, it does not make you a bad parent. But I think society tries and make people think that as long as you're providing for your kids, but they ain't got no damn values, you're a good parent. Okay. As long as you're constantly promoting, what's up the site dog? Certain things. But as long as you got them the up-to-date things, that you're a good parent. And that's just not true, right? Because what kids like is time. They love time. They love to know that you care about them. That's what children love. I think about how people sometimes I see people bragging about going and buying like their kids or their grandkids $200 and $300 shoes. It really, I love my grandbaby loves Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck. And so it gives me so much gratification. Like if I'm looking at JCPenney's website and I see some Daisy, some Minnie Mouse shoes that light up, or I bought her some yesterday. They had them on sale. It had Daisy on the front, with the Velcro on them, and Minnie on the side. And I had just bought her some Minnie Mouse shoes that light up. And then when she saw them, when I showed them to her, when she was over, she said, "Oh, I love them." Oh my God, it just melts my heart to hear her say that. When I show her the Minnie Mouse and the Daisy Duck clothing and stuff she go, "I love them." And so, I mean, and it don't cost that much, like $18 to $20. Just spending time with her, loving on her, playing with her, and those characters right there, make her happy. Right. But unfortunately, we put a value, a price tag on parenting and taking the values away. Okay. And so I was looking at Coat Figure, and thank you. Look at Clarinetta's a honeybee. Oh my God. Hey, Deshaun. Deshaun is something because believe it or not, I had a case, and because I've been over there before, and every time I ride past that church, over there, I thought about you. Said you come from that close to that area. Every time I ride past that church and I see the back of that fence, I think about CEO Teasy. I'm like, dog, it's something. But anyways, let's pull up Coat Figure. I want to, because I like Coat Figure a lot. Hold on. If y'all was on last night, we had fun last night. Shout out to Cypress, the Alabama hitter, and Steven for pulling up on me. I had not been on in a little while, but I see Hitter been holding it down. Hitter has been holding it down. Wait a minute, you guys. It's a few minutes of a little video, but I like Coat Figure, so.
Damn problem.
Honey, and kept away from around some suckers and pluckers. I prayed for that, huh? My young nigga looks so good. My whole family here. Do you know how good I feel? It's hard to get people together. It's hard to get people together and be quiet. But if you fucking play with me, they already know my own 100. Don't listen to these people, man. My own 100, I'm 200.
Mama Shiesty said she 100, she 100, man.
Hey, on one we go.
Play with them. She raised the real slime. Mama, y'all be sure to wipe y'all feet. That means hit the like button. You in the house of revolution. Like, share, subscribe, support the platform. Y'all, well, Mama Shiesty say Gucci Mane owe her son $25 million. Woo! I'll give me a second. Man, boy, I need that. As crazy as this world is, World War III, nuclear war at the door, I need a good laugh every once in a while, Mama Shiesty. But you lying. And that's not a playing matter. Mama Shiesty, everybody in the industry know your son ain't almost made enough for Gucci to owe him no $25 million. Man, what the hell is wrong with you? And is that what y'all were telling Pooh Shiesty? Who told y'all that? Industry insiders? Did your guy tell y'all that? Man, I'm looking at some books, some off the record books. Gucci owe that man. I'll tighten y'all up if y'all can come over here. Who told y'all Gucci owe that man $25 million? Because that's a lie. If anybody can find out that's a lie, man. Your son ain't even almost make that much money. One big hit. We heard him on the radio down here in Texas. One time, Back in Blood. One big hit. Nigga went to jail. Oh, $25 million. But I'll tell you what you did do, man. What you saying sound like motive. What you saying, feds rubbing their hand like, Birdman, thank you, ma'am. Could you please say more and keep it 100 with us? Because it seemed like what y'all told that man about the $25 million is what made that federal kidnapping, armed robbery, and forcing a man to let him out of a contract worth tens of millions. Whoever told that man that is the reason his ass behind bars. You 100, Mama Slime, Mama Shiesty? You 100% wrong, and his mother's like you is the problem in our damn community. I raised the real slime. You are slimy. Man was on Anchor Money at 11 with people like you as his mother and Papa Mall boss. The boy never stood a chance to be nothing respectful. He still got to walk that walk now. But I feel bad for that boy. I said this before, in the conditions that we're in, you got to be able to fall back on some spirituality to get yourself together. I know that. Plenty of the real ones had to come from. It's people that's been real deep in the streets, real serious business people. Y'all don't know that. How they act. I was at work. I'm at work at times, and people, they don't even think I ever been to prison. You know I like that? That means I know how to conduct myself like an honorable person. They don't even believe that I would ever been in those streets, bro. They're like, man, you ain't know that type of, like, I laughed off them. Nah, that's my previous life. That feel good. not to be looked at as a fool. And everybody, man, a fool, you a damn fool, bro. Nah, my people raised me better than that. I went astray. Now, fell back into the teachings of my father. Some of you have to fall back into the teachings of your mother, your grandmother, your grandfather, auntie, whoever kept you spiritually connected to the Most High. That was a good thing. There's nothing this lady can do to spiritually connect her son, and it don't seem like she got that. Papa Mob Boss, all he been through, he's still a Mob Boss. Feeling for me. He not telling that man fall on his knees right now. The Most High is the only thing that can help you. Like my daddy was telling me when I was in prison. I had to fall back into the teachings of my father for some strength. Turn from the error of my wicked ways. Man, I have a mother like this corrupting me, a father preaching that mafia talk to me. How could I ever know? This is what Pooh Shiesty had to hear. If he wanted to get his life right, she would have said, my boy getting soft on me. You turning one of them punks, boy. Nah, I ain't ready. I ready to stepper. That's crazy. And then you see the problem here? Mothers like this. Fathers like the Mob Boss. People like y'all praising that activity. I want y'all to hear my voice. We got to separate from these type of people. In the black community, we need to understand something. A lot of y'all in church on Sunday praising. You leave church, y'all talking about who snitching, who being a real G. You just as worshiping the Lord, you deceptive, you deceitful individual. Y'all got to understand, there's a lot of these people that we're not evenly yoked. You don't need to be with them in your bed. You need a woman that's going to try to keep your behind out the streets, keep you away from doing wrong, trying to drag your butt into some house of worship. A woman, you remember how Florida was on Good Times? I used to hate her doing this, but this was good for the people. Anytime James got something nefarious going on, finna make a little extra on the side, she said, oh, no, I don't want that dirty money in my house. That's dirty money. The Lord gonna make a way somehow, and it did. I hate it. I'm like, every time James try to do something, you hating on him. I call women Florida every right now. I feel like doing that. But no, she wasn't hating on him. She protecting them and the household and the energy of the house. That's a good woman. A lot of women see these men, they just think of Birkin bags and trips. They don't give a damn if that's blood money. Now, all y'all see on Instagram of them living their life, you never see them when they get kidnapped, somebody in their house beating on somebody. Where's that? Threatening to kill everybody, got people dog tied. You just get to see them rolling and flossing in foreign cars, jewelry on. You don't see the other side off the ground. The horror, the pain. You nowhere around when they are killed, wife kidnapped. Father, son, murdered over safe in a house. You don't see that part. They don't show you the real. You see the fake. That's why you are fake. I can't stand this type of woman. Or the Mob Boss father. I feel bad for Pooh Shiesty. I want what's best for him, but he got to walk that walk now that only the Most High can bring him out of. It's nothing none of y'all comment section fans tell he did the right thing. You can never ever influence me to believe that robbing your brother, extorting, trying to jack your brother is a good thing. Now y'all talking about that contract. Gucci changed his life forever. They mean that contract could have been better. I don't know the particulars of it, so I don't want to say that. But what I do know is I don't like young men eating with their eyes, going and get millions of dollars from somebody and then complaining because they want more. I don't like that. That's greedy. Yes, there's some industry problems with them contracts, but that is wrong for these little brothers. I don't see them kidnapping white record execs. You kidnap some white record execs. Oh, it's equal opportunity. But no, everybody want to go at Suge. Nobody went at Jimmy Iovine. I couldn't respect that. Man, Suge doing them dirty. Jimmy run that company. What the hell are you talking about? Suge can't do nobody. Jimmy at the top. Oh, no.
Blackout, you show right. And you know what? I have to say, I got to stop and interrupt it. Blackout is right. That is what they depicted, especially back then in the Black community, right? It's not good to ask for too much. And I'm gonna tell you something. My dad says that this rich white guy said to him, he was in a meeting with him one time. He says, the guy said, a lot of African Americans come to me, they ask for meetings and they ask for support, but they don't ask for what they want. He said, if you have a need of $15,000 for a business, he said what happens is African Americans come in and they'll take a meeting and they'll beat all the way around the bush about what they want. He says, and then they'll say, well, I'll just take, 8,000. I don't want to be too greedy. He said, and the white guy said, if you need 15,000 to get your business out the hole, if you're gonna waste my time, you need to ask for the 15,000. And that is something that has been taught in our community. Now, there is a lot of greed going on and a lot of waste going on. That co-figure is telling the truth about that. But now let me just say this. As far as like Florida Evans, okay, I got to be honest. I'm an honest person. But when they robbed their bank and James just happened to they dropped some of their money and James happened to walk up on it and pick it up, that could have been a good way for them to get up out the projects, because there ain't nowhere in the world I'd have ever gave it back. He didn't rob the bank, he found it. God made a laid that there for him. But that's what the slaves and the energy that has been projected in our community, while other communities say, damn, that we taking everything, we want it all, and we ain't gonna necessarily give anything. And if you notice, Black people are real giving. We've been taught to give. We're real giving to anybody but our own communities, right? We want to show other communities that that we got it, or we're not what they think that we are, and they still gonna think the same thing about you, okay? But we want to show other communities we got it. That's why we go and spend so much, right? So yeah, but you're right. I thought about that. It's a lot of times they could have got out the projects. With Florida, she seemed, as a TV sitcom wife, she, held her family down. But I mean, yeah, there were a lot of times, like when James found that money, I ain't nowhere in the world I'd have ever gave back all money that I found. I don't care. I as far as I'm concerned, unless I saw somebody drop it. Now, here's the thing. That's where integrity steps in. Integrity falls in. There's no way in the world, and people do this. They'll see somebody drop some money by mistake, looking at them, and then instead of running up to the person and saying, ma'am, you drop your money, because I do that. I've done that a lot. They'll wait until the person is out, and they'll go right behind the person and pick it up. If you ask me, that's a form of stealing. That's a form of stealing.
They're going to call the police on me. We need to get our house in order. Mama Shiesty, wrong. Papa Shiesty, wrong. They ruined this young man's life with that street BS. A lot of y'all got the mentality you wrong. You raising criminals, then you want to complain about the white man when your sons is terrorizing, your husband is terrorizing, your father is terrorizing. Y'all talking about Whitey? Y'all talking about the white man? No more of that. Blackface Ku Klux Klan. Cool figure. Follow me.
Shout out to Cold Figure. And it's funny because I was talking about this last night about, and I have to think about with Pooh Shiesty's mom, how was she raised? Where, how was she raised? Because I think in the areas that she came from, a lot of the women, unfortunately, they kind of talk like that and think like that, right? It's and listen, I'm not saying everybody. Hey, I get to thinking about when I was a child and I was growing up in the projects. We cuss like sailors. The lingo was different. It definitely was. Because I remember a time where I used to say prickles. What the hell is going on here? Hold on, y'all. Okay, well, I used to say prickles like, oh, I don't know. I think though, as women, we definitely have to be very meticulous about what we promote, because I remember a time where women would not have promoted something like that. you know, promoting our sons and stuff being steppers and hitters and stuff like that, but it is definitely promoted more so now by mothers in our community, right? They kind of brag about it. You know, I think about the other young lady, Miss Kamisha. I forget her last name. I think about her, you know, when she was in the video with the guns and stuff with her sons, and how she promoted some things. And even when, you know, um when she was upset with Young Dolph for signing Big Unk, and then she was like, um if something had happened to Dolph, her boys would have made the streets cry, meaning that they would have went on a killing spree. You know, as mothers, what is going on? Why would we ever want our children to go and make the streets cry by going on a crime spree, killing other people, putting them in harm's way, because there are always retaliatory type situations. When as mothers did we, especially being being the models and stuff of our homes, and we set the tone for everything, when did we become so insensitive and desensitized and promote our sons getting themselves or promoting a life of that's going to lead them to the grave, to a premature grave, right? So I want to give the excuse of, well, it's the area, but no, because everybody that come from the hoods and stuff don't think like that. Everybody that comes from the hoods don't think like that. You know, there are a lot of people in the hoods right now, and they work hard because their dream is to get their children away from around those areas, right? They don't necessarily relish and glorify, like, you never forget, because I've never forgotten where I came from. And which is why it gives me when I'm riding through South Memphis when I'm at work, and I ride through those areas that I grew up in, it brings back a lot of memories because we were able to be children. I never forget where I came from, but those are not areas that I would have wanted to raise my kids in. And I'm happy that, my mother and grandmother wanted something, because I was, as a 12, 13-year-old, I was devastated when we moved away from the hoods. When we moved, I was like, dog, my whole life, all my friends are over here. Everything that I ever knew was in Clementine, right? And so my mother was saying the other day, she was like, I worked so hard to get you. I knew you was getting older. I didn't want you to be a teenage girl living in the projects. And we moved right when I was 13. And she said, I started working so hard. I was like, I don't want my child to be a teenager growing up and adopting what I see in these projects, right? And she said it kind of hurt me when we was able to get out of there, and you kept wanting to go back there. And I did. I wanted to. All of my friends, my best friends was there. It took me a while to get past that, right? It took me a while because that's all I had known for almost 13 years. All of my friends and stuff were over there. And then moving into an environment where people were sedity and kind of stuck up, and going to a school where these kids' families had always for a long time had money, right? And so it was real easy for me to identify with the kids that were very unpopular. They want to talk about the kids that didn't have anything, or their head was nappy. Okay, you don't sit with her because look at how her head be, look at how her shoes be. Hey, it was easy for me to go and sit at the table with them and laugh and talk to them. I never turned my nose up at them. It was very easy for me to do that, right? Because I came from the hoods, So when people, why you deal with her? Because she cool. Because she cool. That's why I deal with her. You see her clothes, this and that. Well, it didn't really matter to me because, I've always been I was very humble, right? So I never turned my nose up at anybody. But my mother was like, hey, I worked to get you away from that, and for a while, because you constantly wanted to go back, and I would be so happy when I was able to, because Vanessa and them moved shortly after we did, right? They moved shortly after we did, and then it just kind of changed. And I'm so glad my mother did it, because guess what ended up happening? When the girls that I went to school with, their mothers started moving, like a lot of their mothers started getting houses like further in South Memphis, like around Mississippi and Macklemore. And the girls that we went to school with, like me and Vanessa and them, they started having babies and getting apartments. They started saturating Clementine and the projects. So they kind of became a product of their environment, So yeah. I'm glad my mother and them did that. He says the episode when James wanted to leave for a year for a good job in Alaska, and she had a fit, but she left those same kids for a year to. Yeah, yeah, but I was looking at all of the crime that is happening, around our area. Look, but let's go back to Pooh Shiesty's mom. Maybe could it be that what's the word that I'm looking for? Because I don't really want to say anything too bad, because you have to understand, as I always say, people are a product of what they've been around. Could it be, even though I'm sure she's around the same age as I am, could it be that she is a product of her environment? Could it be that? But I grew up in the hoods with parents that did not want their children. They didn't promote that. It was devastating when it used to be a time where it was devastating when parents found out that their sons and their daughters were in gangs. And I'm serious. My oldest daughter, I always had to watch her. Okay. I always done had to watch her. Okay. Because she is something. And she a good child, but she always bared watching. And so I remember the principal used to call me. She always been a real tall girl. She real stout, as my grandma used to say. She's real strong. She's real strong to be so petite. And I remember the principal used to always call me at Havenview. He used to always call me out. When I saw the number, I said, "Oh Lord, what this girl done did now." He called me one day and it had me so stressed out. I almost flipped out. He said, "Let me tell you something, Miss Thompson. They were supposed to be at lunch." He said, and I just happened to be clearing the halls, and I hear some sounds in the restroom, and her and a group of girls was in the restroom. And he said, and I opened the door to the girls' restroom, and they was in there fighting. He said, and oh, Miss Thompson, you should have heard the sounds that they was making. Oh my God, that stressed me out so bad at work. I had to leave. That's why I was working for the sheriff's office. I got up, I left. I said, "Oh my God." He said, "Oh, his name was Mr. Mayo." He said, "Oh, you should have heard the sounds they was making as they was fighting." He said, "I believe it was a gang initiation," and I almost passed out. I called my mama. He said, my mom always try to downplay stuff. "Oh, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't be." I said, "This girl gonna stress me out." And then my mama always said, "Well, remember what you used to do to me?" I said, "I'll call you back." I used to have to always tell her, "I'll call you back." Because she used to always do, "Remember what you used to do to me?" And so I went up there. I said, were you getting initiated in a gang?" "No, mama, we got she wanted to play fight, and it turned into a real fight." She got an in-school suspension. That girl kept my hand on my head. Okay. So I started watching her to make sure she wasn't asking for no certain types of colors. Because you have to do that. That's why it's hard for me to believe that a lot of parents, and maybe they don't pay attention to their kids, but kids do everything right in front of their parents. Okay, so I had to make sure she wasn't wanting to wear a lot of blue or a lot of red or whatever. To make sure she wasn't in no gang or nothing like that. Because Mr. Mayo said he think that they was Mr. Mayo said that, and he said, "Mama, she was so mad to my mama. Mr. Mayo just don't like me. He called me at least 3 times a week at work, at least 3 times a week." And he said, "Oh, you should have heard the sounds that they was making as they was fighting. I ain't never heard no sounds like that." Oh my God. Oh, on one we go said he went to Havenview. He said Orange Mound noodles. No, noodles was from straight up. She's from straight up Whitehaven. She's a straight up Whitehaven baby, which is really, they call it South Memphis now. Okay, she's a straight up Whitehaven baby. She went to Havenview, then she graduated from Whitehaven. I mean, her and her sister was just like night and day. Okay, night and day. Noodles got a mouth. The other one I call Brailsy. Brailsy is real nonchalant and quiet and secretive, like her daddy. Okay, she like her daddy. I only got a call one time, and she was crying because at Whitehaven, because the teacher was getting ready to suspend her. They was getting ready to play car. They was playing car. Some of the kids in the class was playing cards. They had a substitute teacher, and they were kids so damn bad. It's ridiculous. Okay, and so she was sitting in the back of the class watching the girls play cards. So he decided he gonna suspend everybody. So she called me crying. So it worked. So when she called me, that was the good one. Okay, she was the good one. So I knew when she called me, it was something wrong. Okay. When she said, "I'm gonna get ready to get suspended," I knew whatever it was that he was gonna say, it could not have been true, because she was always the good child. Okay. And so although she got to fighting one day, she hit a girl in the mouth for eating her food. Yeah, she hit a girl in the mouth. But anyways, the teacher, them kids was so bad, you could hear them. They was calling them stupid. You stupid. She wasn't playing no cards. They was really going off on him. And he said, I said, "Why are you going to suspend her?" He said, "I told him not to play cards, and they was playing cards." She was crying. I said, "Mama, I was not playing cards." He said, "Well, I told them to come back to the front of the class, and they didn't." He said, "I never had no issues with her, but she didn't come back up to the front of the class." I said, "Sir, please don't suspend her. Please don't suspend her." And the kids, the badass kids in the background said, "You just stupid. She wasn't playing no cards. We was playing cards. Leave her alone." I mean, they was just talking to the poor teacher like he was a dog. I know that man was stressed out to death. Anyways, he didn't suspend her, okay? But I didn't go up there cussing the teacher out, like some people do. "You don't suspend my motherfucker." I talked to him on the phone. I said, "Sir, please don't suspend her. She does not. She's never had any issues." I talked so nice to the guy. He said, "Well, I'm gonna let her go back up to the front of the class. I told her to stay away from them badasses back there." He cussed. He said, "I told her to stay away from the badasses in the back." I said, "Brailsy, you stay away from the badasses in the back, okay? And sit at the front and do your work, because you can't see that good anyways. Okay, put on your glasses and do your work." And but the other one, okay, Lord have mercy. I got my hand on my head. After she graduated, she said to me, she said that she had gotten into a fight. She told me like about 3 or 4 years after she graduated, to my mama. She had gotten into a fight with one of her friends at the Whitehaven Park. I said, "The Whitehaven Park? Back behind Whitehaven School?" I said, "Why was y'all back there?" I didn't allow them to hang out in parks because bad things happen. "Well, Mama, we cut school that day, and we was back there in the park after we cut school smoking weed." I said, "Smoking weed?" And we got high and got the fighting. Y'all, that stressed me out so bad. I did the best I could for that girl. She ain't never seen me smoke no weed. I've never put my mouth on a reefer or joint or whatever y'all call it. And she would go and cut school in the 12th grade and go put her mouth on a joint and get the fighting. I suppose something that happened. I would never have known anything. Okay. He said, "What's up to you?" I see some people coming in through but I ain't gonna keep talking about them about my girls. But anyways, I said all that to say this: you could do the best that you can, and kids will go and get into stuff, but you have to be a constant. You have to watch your kids, right? You can't let them get away with stuff. You can't be scared of them. You can't turn a blind eye because you're benefiting, okay? Because that's exactly what happens. A lot of these people turn the blind eye on their children, okay, because they're actually benefiting from what they're doing. It's hard for me to believe that a mother does not know her son who does not have a job, and she's not buying his shoes and clothes, but he keeps up-to-date shoes and clothes and stuff like that. It's hard for me to believe that she does not know, and cars and stuff. So it's hard for me to believe that she does not know what her son has going on, right? Like I said, a lot of people now magnify what their kids do. They think it's a badge of honor for their kids to go and start a gang and get a lot of little other misled children to follow them and let them believe, yeah, my son motherfucking leader of the gang. And I don't know if that's stupidity or mental illness. Y'all, which is it? Y'all, what is it? Y'all help me out. Because I don't want to go in on these women today. Because y'all know I am pro-woman. I am pro-woman, but I have to go ahead and get these bitches in check sometime. Lord, forgive me saying that slip. I meant to say chick. Oh, God, please. I don't like calling no women the B word, okay? But some of these folks have to be put in check. Lord, please forgive me for that. Because y'all know I don't like for women to be called up out their name. When I do it, I have to be real mad or it's a slip. Okay. So is it mental illness or is it stupidity? Because women go through a lot. Okay. Women do go through a lot. Women have been taught early on that they're supposed to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders as far as other people's emotions. And I think that is unfortunate, right? Where women talk, well, you know, you're the model of the household. You're supposed to make sure that everything is right. That means you have to make sure, in order to keep everything flowing right, you got to make sure that people's emotions are in check. And that's a hard thing to do. You know, you got to worry about if you got a husband, he come home, he unhappy. You got to try to make him happy. Okay. You got to try to make him all right. Your kids come home and something wrong with them. You got to try to make sure that they're okay. So what you're doing is neglecting. A lot of times, you know, I think that the world has, especially with Black women, have tried so hard, and they've gotten a lot of the Black men on board with trying to mentally destroy Black women, because they understand that the Black woman is what helps to keep the Black man afloat. So we can get them to turn totally against them and to try and mentally abuse them and rap and brag about it. Then when they are in turmoil, as they are all of the time and fucked up, okay? I mean, the Black woman is what helps to balance them out. But if we can turn them against her and keep them at odds with each other, he ain't got nothing. Okay. So I don't have anything against interracial relationships or anything like that. I think people ought to be with who they love. Okay. Because we're all human. But I think when you start seeing Black men run into white women, okay, it is because they feel like they are the recessive gene. They feel like they're weaker. You know, they come from a different environment. And well, you know, the white woman to do this when she's not weak at all. She just knows how to play her role, right? She knows she's getting something out of it, because that's all white people have been taught. You don't get into nothing that you don't get nothing out of. And I think once she has accomplish that, she'll move on. And if he don't want her to move on, then she starts using her white privilege, okay, to make sure you're gonna move on away from me. You're gonna stay away from me. So but you don't necessarily, anyways, I don't even really want to talk about that. But I think in our community, and I've said this before, until there's some reconciliation with the Black man and the Black woman, things are always going to be out of balance, especially as it relates to our children. Because when you're bringing kids into the world, I don't think it's a good thing for them, even if you are at odds, for them to constantly see their mother and their father being at odds. I think two grown-ups should at least have enough, what's the word that I'm looking for? They should at least be balanced enough mentally to say, well, listen, hey, I can't stand his guts, but I ain't gonna be at family functions or at school events that the child may be in, mad at him, cussing him out, trying to fight his girlfriend and all of that. I think things has to be balanced out. And when two people can't be together, I think they should be able to go apart, come apart, just as they came together. Okay, it just ain't working. Hey Ashley, hey Food Nor. Destroying the Black generation, women or men, Black women be traumatized. Don't nobody feel like dealing with that. Yeah. I mean, then you have to think about people's childhoods. I think about like my grandmother. I don't know. Rest in peace to my grandmother, and my grandmother was born in the 40s. Okay, I don't know what happened, to my grandmother. Now, as far as I'm concerned, my great grandmother, my great grandfather, it was 14 of them, and then she raised other folks' kids too. All right, and they did the best that they could, but I don't know what it was that traumatized her. But me growing up as a little girl, my grandmother was adamant about, and I think about that now, like I be talking to my mom about that. And she was so overprotective. Like she would always, like, it was almost like a as far as this situation, because she always gave me what I wanted, but I was not allowed to, and I don't think any little girl should be allowed to, but she was very adamant about that. You don't sit on men's lap. You don't sit on a man's lap. You don't let a man hug you. As a little girl, I mean, she always said that, don't be letting, I don't care if it's your cousin. And she even went as far as like my daddy. And my dad growing up was very affectionate. Like my dad's family is very affectionate. My mother's family isn't. They're not that affectionate. But my mother's a real nice person. But my dad, my aunties and stuff, my dad and them, they're kissers and huggers. And that's how I am. Like, right. I'm a hugger. And if I like you, I like to hug all on you and stuff like that. That's how I am, right? I kind of taught my kids that. But my grandmother used to always, like when I would get ready to go with my dad, she would always say, don't be letting your daddy kiss you in the mouth. And my dad used to always, when he would kiss me as a little girl, he would always want to like kiss me on my lip. And I remember as a little girl telling him, no, you can't kiss me on my lip because my grandmama said you can't kiss me on my lip, as a little girl. But I really don't know the trauma. Whatever happened, it was not my great granddaddy. It was not him. But you have to think about, and I said that to say this, women oftentimes, especially in that time when folks said, don't whatever goes on in this family stays in this family. You don't go get no counseling. You don't go tell nobody to shame anybody. Uncle such and such may have done something or something like that. I think especially I'm glad that a lot of laws had started being put in place that was not in place back then when Black women and Black girls were being traumatized. I know they talk about um, the feminine movement or whatever. But there are some good things as it relates to laws and things of that nature that was put in place when women and stuff were being violated. Right now, I've never been violated, and my mother just started talking about this. Right, so that's why I talk about it, and that's why up under my nonprofit organization, I want to like add a program that would be geared at helping women that have been molested, right? Because a lot of times it traumatizes them. And for some reason, I started taking a lot of classes when I worked at the sheriff's office. Like they would have a lot of programs for like the employees to go and get certified and this and that. And so I would just go do it. You know, for some reason I just took on. It was very interesting to me to learn about the signs of a child that had been molested, that had been raped, and things of that nature. And so when I started going over to Jail East and talking to the juvenile boys, and when they would talk to me one on one, they would confide in me of why they had a lot of anger. And so I remember as I started getting certified in a lot of these programs and stuff, my mother has always been very introverted. She's always been very introverted, very passive. One of the reasons why I'm so hard, my grandmother is her mother was real hard, but I feel like my mother was just too passive, right? You know, she was just too kind-hearted, or you know what I mean. And so I remember I asked my mother, I said, were you molested as a child? And she was like, no, why would you ever say something like that? I said, because you kind of have the characteristics of what I've been learning about. I remember I asked her that some years ago, just being passive and not wanting to make any waves or anything like that, right? She just had that personality. That's the reason why I goes to the limit. When I see a violator, I go to the motherfucking limit. And a lot of these men on this internet is violators, okay? That when you think you're gonna violate me. And so anyways, so it's just been like within the last maybe like the last 3 years. My mother was talking to me and one of her aunties, and I think I've spoken about, and I don't know how we get into this, probably because I'm going to do a program. My mother knows, and I told her, I've talked to her about it, and I want to make my mother the face of it and put her name of it. The name of it is going to be Mama Ann's house, because my mother's name is Ann, right? And so I talked to her about that. And my mother is in her 60s. And she just started talking about, my grandmother's first husband, who she was not her dad. My grandmother married him when she was 6 years old. And my grandma moved to New Orleans. Now, here's the thing about my great grandmother. She was real stern and firm, right? She didn't play. She was very firm. And when her daughters had children and they were not married, and then they got married to another man, she did not allow them to take those kids. So a lot of my mother's first cousins and her grew up in the house with my great grandmother until they was of a certain age. Just like sisters and brothers, right? That's the reason why we're all so close. Okay. And so my mother finally spoke about how her stepfather would come into her room at night when my grandmother would go to sleep and rub on her behind. Okay. And I could tell like my mother was finally getting free because she didn't cry, anything like that. And just when I started years ago learning about the characteristics of being a people pleaser and all of that, I knew then, I picked up on, I was like, dog, I wonder if my mom has ever been molested, because she's very introverted. She's one of those ones. Okay. And so when I said that to say this, a lot of women carry a lot of trauma. And I think it's a damn motherfucking shame for these chase booted ass men for there to be an energy promoted, right, for these men to try and laugh about wanting to traumatize. Yeah, I want her mind, bitch. That's why you ain't got none, hoe, and you're getting shot down in the street like dogs and pigs and cats. The society know that the black man and the black woman has always been stronger together, right? So what they did was they created an energy to always keep us at each other, because ain't no motherfucking man gonna use me. That's why when that bitch ass nigga got on here lying like I was trying to pay him to fuck me, I ain't never in my life had to pay no man to do nothing to me. Never. That's an insult. Okay, but it's a damn shame that there's a double standard and how society has fixed it for black men to try and destroy black women and vice versa. I think as a result of the trauma, you see a lot of black women now trying to do it to black men, and ain't nobody winning. Because the truth of the matter is, black women need black men just as much as they need us, not to use us. So now there's an energy, man, charge that hoe. That's not the laws of the universe, and that's the reason why they can't win. Okay, so when I see a young girl, and I'm very sensitive to that, and they go, well, she a fast young girl, she having sex with all these men. What has happened to her? Okay, my mother has never been a promiscuous woman. I think she was so introverted, she didn't really date, and I think that had a lot to do with it. Okay, introversion, and she always kept us away from everything. Okay, I don't know if my grandmother found out about it later, but that was one of the things. You have to be careful about generational curses. Okay, because I was I was like that with my kids. I didn't bring men around my children, and I felt like that was the way to do it, because my grandmother and my mother didn't bring Tom, Dick, and Harry around me, and that is the way to do it. Because you have folks that have a different man and they calling somebody daddy every 6 months, especially if it's income tax time. This your new daddy. Okay, he done told her he want to marry her to get her income tax. Now the kids calling him daddy. That's not healthy. So I think there has to be some repair, and I'm very, very concerned about that, and I'm very dedicated to being a part of trying to help our problem as it relates to repair in our community, because it's a lot of young men that have been molested. Okay, and so they be in and out of. I ain't telling you nothing I heard, I'm telling you what I know, because when Chief Moore used to allow me to go to Jail East once a month and counsel with these young men and talk to these young men, they would talk about that. And the thing about it was, these young men knew how to write poetry. They could rhyme. They was really good with their hands. They knew how to draw really, really good. And all of that stuff kind of get pushed to the background because of the trauma that they have in their everyday lives. I think it's a damn shame when you are a woman and you're a single mother and you feel like your life is not complete unless you got a man. And so you're so selfish that you push to the side, or you don't even pay attention to or consider the trauma that it is causing your kids to see all these different men mistreating you and fighting you in front of your damn children. So there has to be some repair in our community, and crime is not something people don't just wake up and decide that they want to commit crime. Poverty ignites crime, right? Poverty ignites crime. And so you don't necessarily have people anymore. Our people are in a state of emergency and have been for a very long time. That's why I can get on here and cuss our community out. But damn, who loves our community more than me? I love being Black. I love our community, and it's so hurtful, okay, when I see the conditions that we are in. Okay, I told y'all I had to go over to they was trying to, somebody in Atlanta had went and I guess they sold my social security number. There's some stuff going on I can't talk about with that, just like they did my daughters, right? They had been using, somebody had gotten some furniture with my grandmother's. My grandmother has been dead now for about 13 or 14 years. They had gotten some furniture with her social security number in a city. I'm not going to say what city that was. but it's obvious our information was sold. Okay. And so anyway, somebody in Atlanta at a rehabilitation home had used my social security number to get like some credit or something like that. They were staying there at the home. Okay. And so what's up, Stanley? And so hold on one second, y'all. Hello? Hey, Fruky Pie! Hey, Fruky Pie! I like to eat, eat apples and bananas. What's she doing? I'm on my podcast. Tell them I'll call her back in a few minutes. All right. That's the second time my oldest daughter done called me and put my grandbaby on the phone. The next time she called me, it's gonna be, Mom, can you watch her? I already know what she's trying to do, child. Anyways, because I know what she want to do. She want me to say, you want to come over Gigi house? That's what she want me to say, but I got some things I got to do today. He says, what ignites poverty? The white system. Yeah. But here's the thing. We have a lot of Black people in office today. It's more Black people that are elected now than ever before. Why aren't things changing? Why are there Black people that are in these key positions and ain't a damn thing happening? Okay, why? I mean, it seems like a lot of times when we get them into office, it get worse. And so that's why I say that also politics is out of control too. It's a darn shame, like if we elect somebody and we elect them and then they're sellouts and they get out up there and they sell out and there are no repercussions. Like what we do is we consistently vote for people based on name recognition. Okay. Now, this is something that they did because Black people are starting to open their eyes in Memphis. And I'm so proud of us for that. So I went and I got on I was going to run for school board, right? And so this is something that they did that they have never done before. Okay. So you only have to have 25 signatures to qualify to run for school board. So I went, me and Vanessa, okay. Y'all know Vanessa lived in South Memphis. That would have been my area too. Some of South Memphis, North Memphis, Midtown, and downtown, and Binghamton. It would have stopped at Binghamton. So, anyways, so what I did was Vanessa was like, we went over to went over to the area Vanessa lived in. It was like 3,000 people got apartments over there. And I got out, I started motivating the people, go get elected, get me in. There's a lot of things I've got to change. I want to incorporate this. I want to bring this back, this, and that. I just started getting them motivated to vote, right? They signed the petition. I took the petition back. They called me 30 minutes. We got almost 90 signatures now. I mind you, you only need 25. We got almost 90 signatures. Got them amped up. Those who were not registered to vote, it's like, we're going to get you registered to vote. We're going to go back and do a voters registration drive. And in North Memphis and South Memphis, right? And so the election commission called me 30 minutes before they cut off and was like, you didn't qualify. And I was like, why not? What happened? Yeah, hold on one second. Okay, you guys, I am back. Um, she was kind of long-winded, Lord. He said we lost the skilled trades that her absolutely. So yeah, so let me get back to that. Thank you, Gimani. So they called me 30 minutes because they really I was gonna win. Okay. I was gonna win. What they start doing is they start throwing a lot of people in the race that they know is not going to win and find ways to disqualify a viable candidate. I had gone to the unions and I had gone to some more people and they were going to get behind me and support me. I was happy doing boots on the ground, getting out, talking to people, inspiring people to vote because what they've done to our people, they like to suck the life out of the Black community. They want to make you think your vote don't count so that you won't even get registered. You don't even want to be bothered. That is the type of energy that they like, the propaganda that they like to spread and put into the atmosphere so that you'll go, well, my vote don't count anyways. I was going to have Miss Heidi, who is over the criminal court clerk, to we were going to go into the communities and not only get a lot of these young women registered, but also get she does an expungement clinic, and we were going to set up right in the midst of the hoods where and have a drive. So a lot of these young men who have these charges on their history, because I think after 5 years, if you had your felony is 5 years old, you can get it expunged. And see, a lot of people think that you have to have lawyers or they don't know the lingo or whatever. And Heidi would have been there to help to navigate through that and do an expungement clinic. Child, I was gonna do myself. I was already ready to do myself a commercial, and they made sure they come back 30 minutes. Well, and we don't think that you're gonna have enough time to go out. I was like, well, out of 90 people, you're trying to tell me that 25 were not qualified? They said this was the issue. Either the people that was on that had signed the petition, my petition, they were not registered to vote, or they did not live in the area. They was registered to vote in another area. They may live at the address, but they had not changed their address to the address that was in my district. So they was disqualifying people left and right that are viable candidates because they know that these damn cuckabug heads that have been into office that has not been doing anything for the Black community was getting ready to get voted out, right? And so there's always some trickery. And so that's one thing that I learned. Okay. So that was a learning curve for me. I didn't even get mad. And I was like, well, God, with all the stuff going on with the school board, you didn't want me there right now, but I'll know the very next time. Right. And somebody was like, well, the city elections are coming up. You've gotten the unions to agree to, you got people to agree to back you and all of that. Maybe you should, run for one of the city positions. I don't know, but my point is what we have to start doing is we got to stop voting for people based on what pastors say or based on name recognition or based on color, because we'll just vote for somebody because they Black and they get in there and do worse than any white person could have ever did because they bought and paid for it. My dad used to say a bought and paid for a Negro can hurt your community way worse than any white man who is his own man. So he'll give you a little bit more crumbs than a Negro would do if he bought and paid for, because he'd be too scared of the master that owns him. Okay, so those are the types of things that we have to look out for. And then there has to be some repercussions for selling out our community. Like there are no repercussions. People are able to get into office if we vote for them and then totally sell our community out. All of this money that come into the urban communities, they come in and they go to your local politicians, and they are not putting those funds the majority of the time back into our communities because we don't know anything about no funds. We don't check to see what they're doing. We don't ask to look at the books or anything like that. And so they're constantly able to steal money. Okay. So one of the things that the politicians was mad about, these local politicians, when Trump sent the National Guard in, this is what they was really mad about. They didn't give a damn about the National Guard coming in, but Memphis is a high crime city. So the more high crime the more federal dollars they give to the city to try and take the crime down, the more money that these politicians are able to steal. And so what Trump did was, what he said was, okay, well, I'm not going to give them the federal dollars anymore. I'm just going to take the federal dollars and pay the National Guard to go in to take the crime down. So they ain't give a damn really about the National Guard coming in, because they just got mad that he took them federal dollars that they couldn't line their pockets with anymore. And so what they do is they get the good Negro all up in the roar. They gonna kill our black. They gonna be beating up our black boys. Some of these damn black boys need their ass towed out the frame. Then they'll stop going out robbing and killing, right? But the fact of the matter is that they knew the chances of that happening was very slim. But even if it did happen, they wouldn't have gave a damn if he had sent the National Guard and gave them the federal dollars, okay? But since he said, I'm going to take away the federal dollars and give it to the National Guard, you had a bunch of damn black politicians with their ass on the news trying to get the black people more emotional and in an uproar, right? That's why I say that it is very important for, and I've been saying this for the longest since I've been on here, I'll find out who it is that is in office right now. Whoever you see is in a position right now, vote for whoever is running against them. Do not vote for anybody that is in office right now, because everybody has been piss poor. Okay? Don't vote for them. Start voting for new people. And that is how we train these damn politicians, that they cannot hijack the black community and just treat us any kind of way as they have done. It's a damn shame. These politicians bring they no good asses up in these hoods. That's the reason why they run in these communities, because they grew up in North Memphis and South Memphis and Binghamton and Whitehaven and East Memphis. They grew up in these areas. Okay. And so then they saw how their mother struggled. They saw the struggle of their counterparts that lived around them. And then they go and take a payout to oppress the same community that they grew up in. You got to start voting their asses out. That's how you let them know you ain't getting back in office. Okay. And you have to do that by getting out to vote and getting registered. Okay. It ain't nothing personal. We just not going to vote for you no more. And you make them a one-term elected official. And then they'll know if they elect me, I got to do what they say do, or else they're not going to elect me anymore. But unfortunately, what we do is we elect people based on race, and then we don't watch them. Well, he's a black Mainsis. He's a good black Mainsis. Pastors say he's a good black Mainsis. Yeah, I mean, pastor like him because he making sure that when the city council and the county commissioners and all of them, they give out them grants that they allotted to give out once a year. Pastor get a good chunk, because he get his big congregation to vote for this clown who ain't did a damn thing. So pastor getting his pockets lined, but his congregation that is there praying every day for a blessing ain't getting a damn thing. Okay? So while we get around here gossiping and lying and talking about who coding who, folks be so worried about folks who coding who. If it ain't your husband, you all not be worried about it. What we do need to be worried about is the future of our children and of our people. And we can't keep letting these damn cuckabug heads based on race get in office and sell us out. And so then, I think about, they say, he'll say he heard good black Mainsis. So yeah. So that's something that we got to stop doing. You'll hear people say, well, I don't think, pastor said that, God, he got a word from God. I don't mean no harm. And I have a lot of respect. There are a lot of good pastors, but the Bible says that, when somebody tells you that God has given them a word about you, it's supposed to be confirmation. So if God ain't told me, then I don't receive everything people tell me, because God ain't told no damn pastor to tell me who to vote for. Okay. So what you have to do is vet people yourself and vote for them based on what they have done for your community. And as it relates to the Black community, that ain't gonna be hard because most of them ain't did a damn thing. Okay, so now a lot of people be hating on Paul Young. Y'all know I like Paul Young. I think they give Paul a bad rep. And I think it would be interesting for people to know why a lot of folks are mad at Paul. I mean, they didn't get mad at Jim Strickland when he brought CJ Davis in. Okay. Jim Strickland brought her in. They ain't get mad at the white man. Them same white pastors was licking his boots and asking to tie his shoes. Jim Strickland, a white man. Okay. But Paul Young come in and them same pastors and people sitting up talking about why don't he fire her? They mad at the man because the lady is in a contract and he don't want to have to pay her out of the contract and then pay another director and take money from the city at the same time. Pay her out of her contract, and that's paying two directors at one time. Okay, but people don't look into that because they allow these damn preachers who may not be getting their pockets lined, or the politicians who's mad that Paul was able to get into office, that and they was already in politics and they couldn't get the votes. Okay, they want to make him look bad so he don't get another term so they can get in there and do and really steal. Okay, they was back in Jim Strickland, a lot of them, but now they want to put everything at the feet of Paul Young. I don't appreciate that. I don't like no damn cuckabug head that do that. Anything that the white man do is okay. They're not gonna say nothing. He brought it in. Paul Young don't want to put the city in even more in a deficit by paying for two directors, and they want to put everything. And then Black people just quick to jump on any damn bandwagon as long as it's a lot of people they fly off half cocked without knowing the whole damn truth. Okay. Yeah, why don't he fire her? Yeah, he should have fired her. Okay. The politicians that's pushing this agenda know why he has not fired her. But the damn cuckabug heads that like to jump on any bandwagon to tear down another Black person don't. Okay. So there has to be some repair as it relates to the mindset and the slave mentality in our community. Okay. He says, it's funny how they mix church and state. I'm the church, but won't mix church and state in the school. That's absolutely the truth here. That's a word right there. He says, it's funny how they mix church and state in the church, but won't mix church and state in the school. They took prayer out of the school and brought guns in. Okay. They opened the door and took prayer out, and the devil walked right in, and they okay with that. Okay. And they okay with that. It's something wrong. They got the Black people on board where they making your Black child pray. If he don't want to pray, he shouldn't be. Yeah, my son shouldn't have to be allowed to pray if he don't want to. They want to make these Black kids, because they don't make their kids do it nothing. Their kids don't. A lot of these Black folks' kids don't mind them. They scatter Junebug, and they be all up at the damn school wanting to fight the teacher. You knew damn well Junebug wasn't no good and had whooped your ass. He whooped your ass right before he left and went to school. And then you up there mad at the teacher talking about what your son won't do. You know he was a clown when he left home. Okay. But they'll find a reason to go up to the school and try to act a damn fool. And that's the reason why a lot of these kids don't have no conviction. They ain't got no damn role models, but people don't want to talk about that. Okay. Nobody could tell me more about my child than I know about my child. I told y'all when my daughter just called a few minutes ago, okay, that she wanted me to keep that baby. I know my child. I know her energy. I raised her. Okay. She just don't know how to ask me because I just had her. But I got something to do today. All right. Because I look like Aquanisha. I done took my braids out. Okay. I got to go get my hair done. So, but a lot of these folks know what their kids are capable of. They don't go up there when they're making bad grades. But when it's time to fight and to act the fool, they going up there with their green and yellow hair and they see-through gown on that's stained, okay, with socks on, okay, showing their ass, wanting to fight. They have to try to pull her off of the teacher, ripping her gown off, the titties and stuff all out for the kids to look at, and they ain't got no shame. So there has to be a change in our community. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Okay. It's better that I say it. I'm in the damn community than for somebody outside of the community to be whispering and talking about it. I'm telling you, it ain't right. Okay. There has to be a renewal of the mind in our community. Kevin says it should not be about Chief Davis as it pertains to Mayor Young. Since his background was in HUD, we would like to see more revitalization. I'm saying it wrong. Revitalization and less blight. So have we as a community asked for a meeting with him? I think we all need to ask for a meeting, a town hall meeting. One of these pastors would be glad to open up their big church as long as the news media is there. We ask somebody needs, I'll do it. Okay. I'll try to organize a meeting and the community gonna have to come out now. They can't have me to organize a meeting and ask the good pastor to open up his mega church for us to come up in there. Okay. So that we could all have a meeting to make our, what's the word that I'm looking for? To make whatever it is known, okay, that we need to the mayor. We got to come out. We got to fill those seats up, and then we got to be decent. It's got to be in decency and in order. Because remember they did that? You know, they got Jim Strickland, the good pastor, open up his mega church. And Jim Strickland, they was so uncouth. They was cussing all up in the damn church. Blah, 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 blah. Didn't say nothing about jobs, grants, nothing. Money coming into the community, nothing. Y'all know what they got up there and said, Lord, our people need some repair. Mr. Mayor, it's still on the books that Black people are still considered 3/4 of a human being. What the hell that got to do with a damn man? What could he do about that? How you gonna have the floor? And that's the issue. When we had it for, we don't even know what to ask for. And that's something that we got to get well versed on. You can't have the ear of the people that can help you. You got to know what it is that they can do. He can't do a damn thing. We're not considered whole human beings. Okay? And just showing out, wronger than 2 left legs and showing out. What could he do about that? He just sitting there. He a lawyer. He's sitting there like these bunch of damn fools. He was glad they didn't know what to ask for. Okay? So that's why I said there has to be some repair in our community. Okay? Kevin says it should not be about Chief Davis as it pertains to Mayor Young. Okay, I already read that one. Well, have them pay the rest of the contract out of their money. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, it really hurts me how these pastors will sell their communities out. Steve Cohen should have been gone. But you know why Steve Cohen is still in office? He's going to die in this seat. And he is in a black district. You know why Steve Cohen can't get voted out? Because he has a rapport with all of the big black churches. And if he don't do a damn thing for no other community. Nothing for the black community that he supposedly represents. But he going up in them big churches and making sure that they get a grant. And so he makes sure they get a grant and they persuade the good black folks to vote for him, even though he don't do a damn thing for them. And God gonna make these pastors pay for that. Okay. Well, I'm getting my poems, grace, God. That's a man of. See, I was at a church one day. It was a church by my mama's house. I thought about joining a church. Cohen walked up in there. You don't see him walk up in nowhere. Cohen walked up in there. It was a guy named Ricky Wilkins that ran against him, and we was really behind Ricky Wilkins. And y'all know them black folks didn't vote for Ricky. And shortly after that, Ricky came up. He came close to beating Steve Cohen, though. And he was going to run against Steve Cohen again. And somehow Ricky Wilkins ended up with brain cancer. Okay. I'm through with that. That was, I have my suspicions about that. Child, when these folks are power hungry and they doing the deeds for the rich white power brokers, and they can keep the black preachers in their pocket, and there's a rich black man that has made his money off of his own law firm that has the money to run and win, they will come up sick. It's been happening for years. Okay. He said that would be a great idea meeting. We have to request more transparency, particularly about plans for rebuilding the downtown areas gentrification. There's a young man that's running for county commissioner right now. As a matter of fact, let me see if he would like to come up here. His name is Jared. And he has really been working to restore the downtown community. Let me see if I can get him up here. Y'all hold on one second. His name is Price. Jared Price. Let me see if I can call him right quick. Hold on, you all. Don't go nowhere. Hold on one second. Okay, y'all, he didn't answer, but I definitely want to try to get him on. Let me see if I got his phone number. Because I've spoken with him before. He do a lot for the downtown community. See, I be wanting to get folks on here. As a matter of fact, let me see if LaShanta, because she's a part of the Orange Mound community. Okay, so I'm gonna see which one is gonna answer back first. Okay. Hey, Miss Nita. Inspired by 2383 says, we gotta push drugs out. Right, we gotta definitely push drugs out of our community. Okay, Mira Warden sold Memphis out. Yes, he did. Ooh, that man didn't he sell me? I've never seen a mayor so horrible. I've never seen a mayor so horrible. I'm trying to see if either one of them is answering back. Hold on. I know Jared has a business. Jared has a business. And LaShanta works in the Orange Mound community with her nonprofit organization. She gives jobs to young men that have backgrounds in the Orange Mound community because she lives in Orange Mound. And because I went over there to the Orange Mound Library right there on Dallas Street, and I was out there at the Orange Mound Stadium helping them the other last weekend. And so what she does is she trained them and she teaches them how to write up their resumes after they do the work of cleaning up around the Orange Mound community. And then she get them interviews with the city and with the county, and they're able to get jobs with benefits even after they've been in jail and all that. She's doing a great thing in the community. So I want for people to know that too. That's why I'm trying to get her on here. She might be. Let me see if I could call her because I got her number. She might be at work. Hold on. Because y'all know it's early election and all of that. Okay. She's probably at work. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. But I think that Jared is doing would do a great job. I think he would do a great job. Hold on, you all. That's exactly what it is, Miss Nita. We have a leadership problem. We have a leadership. We elect people and get them into office, and then they sell out. And they sell out with no repercussions. Okay. Um He says these people don't want to see no, they don't want to see Memphis thrive. They've been hijacking our city for a very long time now. They have. They've been hijacking the city for a very long time, and now what they're trying to do is they're using LeBron to promote taking the Grizzlies away. Remember, the Titans used to be in Memphis. The Tennessee Titans used to be the Memphis Oilers, and they started out in Memphis, and they paid all of their money, And then they turned around and took them away from Memphis and took them to Nashville and made them the Tennessee Titans. I remember a time where Nashville was a city that people didn't even want to go in. It had nothing going on. But I mean, their politicians have taken the money and really built Nashville up and really put a lot of money into Nashville. Okay. People would prefer to come to Memphis because of Beale Street. The crime was low. There was more to do. There was Liberty Land. They just hijacked Memphis and made it a dry desert. Mm-hmm. It says the Tennessee Oilers were an NFL team that played in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium during the 1997 season, following their relocation from Houston. Okay, right. So they came from Houston. They came from Houston and then came to Memphis. And then they took them from Memphis and put them in Nashville. So you're right. They started in Houston. Said Nashville made money off country music and TV. Kevin Felder says, we understand downtown is prime real estate, and some people will be displaced due to housing costs. We have to fix matter. Some folks can still function after being pushed to the outskirts. It looks like to me St. Jude is buying up all of the land and stuff downtown. That's what it looked like to me. That's exactly what it looks like to me. Hold on one second, you all. Hold on, y'all. Says I'm gonna say some that's gonna make people mad, Miss T, but what we really have is that's so true. That's exactly, it's been the problem for a long time. People vote based on parties. But what you know what really, I mean, what has being a Democrat really done for Black people? Really? And it's not about being a Republican, it's about holding people responsible. So folks know if they get you got Republicans that's switching over in majority Black cities that are Democratic, just like Memphis. They switch over. They still have the same views or whatever, but they'll switch over and become a Democrat just to get elected because people vote based on name recognition. Black people do name recognition, race, okay, and party. As long as you are a Democrat. Well, that's true. That's true. Kevin Felder, more growth, more jobs. And you're right. St. Jude offers really nice salaries. It's not that they vote for it. Too many black leaders are pushing for staying in the Democratic Party. The jobs don't mean anything if we aren't a part of process and wealth. That's true too. How many of those jobs are they allowing qualified black people um, to get? That's true. So I tell you, she said these folks are not trying to help Memphis. They want to get elected and beg for resources so they can fatten their pockets. That's exactly what's been happening for a very long time. Hmm. He said, look at Justin Pearson. Hold on, you all. What's up, Cypress?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. I was trying to reach out to Jared, but I know he does. He has a business where he does roofing.
Oh. What's going on, everybody? Can
We
they
were
hear me?
just talking about politics and all of that around the Memphis area. But the truth of the matter is, this has been going on in Memphis a long time. People are just starting to pay attention.
I think I think the best out at this point is just go Republican and quit putting it on Democrat.
Y'all, today is the last day to register to vote. So make sure that you register to vote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Anyway, y'all, I got to get off of here because I got to go get my hair done. Yeah, I look like straight up Aquanisha. I took
You
my
about to
braids
get out
out, and
there?
I'm not gonna get those braids for a long time. Those braids been damaging my hair, so I'm getting ready to get my hair cut and colored and stuff. So, anyways, you all, listen, I love you all. Make sure y'all please like, share, and subscribe. I was trying to wait to see, though. I'm trying to wait. I want to call some. Let's see. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Breaking news, man. I don't know if y'all heard this, but breaking news just came through. WREG News Channel 3 is reporting Pooh Shiesty daddy made bond but ordered to remain in Texas. That ain't good.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Miss T, I would love to join your panels. That would be so amazing. I think, especially with this election coming up, that and I know it's still early, but I thought people was off work today, just like I am.
I don't think everybody getting that luxury on a Monday.
Wait a minute, y'all. I'm glad I didn't log off. Look.
Man, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit, man. Man, I was at home washing dishes, right, man? For real, man, in the kitchen sink, right? Washing dishes in the kitchen sink.
I
Man,
got a sink in the
right.
goddamn.
Both of them on YouTube, right? Man, 50 Cent come across in the club, right? So I'm listening to it, right? On everything, man. I'm listening to it, right? Right. I'm washing dishes in the kitchen sink. I'm cleaning the dishes. I'm rinsing them off. I'm calling it rinsing the dishes. I'm listening to the song, right? Man, I heard 50 Cent lyrics, right? He said, man, let me go to it, y'all. Let me let y'all hear it, man. For real, man. Let me go 50 Cent in the club. Hold on. No, I'm not. 50 Cent in the club. Well, let's see what your husband does. I'm gonna start it over, right, y'all? He said the same lyric, man, that I said on Get Buck, man, and Rolling with My Posse. I hope y'all can hear it, but y'all can't. I'm gonna redo it tomorrow. Hold up, man. This ain't the full song. Hold up, 50 Cent in the club. Some sweet for some sweet. Go, shorty. It's your birthday. We gonna party like. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get it. 50 Cent in the club. This the video right here, y'all. I'm at home watching dishes in the kitchen sink, right? And man, I heard 50 Cent in the club, right? Then I'm on my phone. I had just got to listen to Get Buck. I'm Pretty Tony from Mr. Cutting Up. It's my new rap. It's called Get Buck. To the expo on Lamar. Or driving in my pen, people mind my car. With the tenant women, they wonder who's inside. A freak realized it was Pretty Tony died. Girls in the car realized with me. One of them shouted out, ooh, the pretty teeth, the nose, the scope. It made me smile. My pimp tight smile just drove them girls wild. Then they asked me, where are you fixing to go? Then I said, gotta go to the expo. Pulled in the parking lot and called my Benz. Introduced the Freakazoid to my friend. Now listen to that 50 lyrics, y'all. He said the same thing I say. The player ball, right? I think this was in 95, right? and I run into Young Buck. Hold on, baby. I'm on Facebook Live. I'm talking to my fans, my friend. I don't want you to interrupt me. Hold on, hold on. So, oh no, right now. I'm gonna walk over there. Give me a minute. So, I get Young Buck, my Summer Drummer CD. They got PIMP on it, right? I realized 50 stole my PIMP song off my Pretty Tony 38 Slug tape.
Oh my.
Yeah, he stole PIMP off my Summer Drummer. Pretty Tony 38 Slug, Cadillac Willie, Gangsta Jeff, SMK, who else on that joint with me? SMK, I think Skinny Pimp on that joint. I think Player Fly on that joint. But it was produced by Gangsta Jeff, 38 Slug, Cadillac Willie, and me. And Block, my nigga Mitch, out in the Haven, White Haven zone. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Frazier boy from White Haven zone. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lil White. But anyway, y'all, I'm like, that man stole my shit, man. I'm like, 50's supposed to be that nigga. You know what I'm saying? That man album did like 15 million copies, right? Something like, man, Buddy, man, that stole my shit, man. I'm die-hard G-Unit fan. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm buying the G-Unit sneakers. The G-Unit FM. Man, man, stole my shit, Curtis. My mom said, "Don't be no dummy." You stole my shit, Curtis. I'm coming, Curtis. Like that boogeyman. I need the royalties, Curtis. That you album sold 15 million copies. And still selling.
But now y'all notice Pretty Tony out there. He's still, you see how them rings blinking on his finger and stuff?
Man, I ain't the smartest man in the room. Okay. But Tamara, ain't no damn kitchen in the tent.
He said he got a kitchen sink.
In the goddamn tent. Well, nah, I ain't never seen that before. I ain't the smartest man in the world, but so I may add 950 in the store for you. First it was Paul, 950.
Well, he said Squeaky. Remember last time he said Squeaky. I think they probably are stealing from him. Do he have his stuff protected? I wish they'd just get a man what he, if they sampling his stuff, just give the man his money. Just pay him. Acknowledge him and pay him and give him his money and be through with it.
So he go get a bigger tent. Shit. Tony.
Poor old Tony.
Yes,
I think Tony having it hard out there. I think he having it hard.
Yeah.
She said she got so many questions. Yeah, I'm still trying to get them on here. But I do realize that a lot of people are not off today. That a lot of them are at work.
Yeah, you caught that, K. Yeah, I think y'all let Player Fly South down LA. Tony, take it easy.
But y'all, it's going to be interesting. Like Cypress has all of does your family members that's in Memphis, do they still vote?
I wouldn't know. I doubt it.
Are they all in the North Memphis area?
No, they scattered out. Some North Memphis, Germantown shit, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I know my auntie did the one that stays in prayer. She votes. I think she votes, but I don't know about the rest of them. I don't know about the rest of
Oh, she said she got a lot of questions about what Pretty Tony is saying on that video.
them. Yeah, I got a question about how you put a sink in the goddamn tent.
Well, I think people been saying he live in a tent, and he's kind of refuting that in his own way. He's saying he got a house with a sink in it,
That sound
but
like
he shows hang out there a lot, don't it?
Yeah. I don't see nobody want to hang out like they let mosquitoes and shit tear them up.
Lord have mercy. Finesse 2 times, Lord Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Pretty Tony, get it together, bro. I'm gonna call you today, bro. Get it together. I'm gonna call you.
Yeah, I hope Pretty Tony get it together. I do. Anyways, y'all, I got to get off of here so I can get ready to go to. I got to be at the Harris shop at 3:00. Anyways, I love you all. Make sure you all please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can hit up the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. I love you all. Maybe we'll get the opportunity, like right before the election, I can get everybody up here to speak about their candidacy and why they should be voted for and what they plan to do once they are in office. What do they plan to do for their district and our community once they are in office? Okay.
Not a goddamn thing. I am that for you, not a damn thing. Ain't nothing. There you go. That's the answer. Not a goddamn thing. Ain't gonna do nothing.
You know what? I think it's a lot of new people that are running for office, that's getting into office, and they really, I think they really making plans to do some our community. I really do. I think they really making plans to do. You know, but the thing about it is we can't wait on them to do it. We have to make sure that they do exactly what we need done in our community. We have to keep check of them because they work for the community. So anyways, you guys, I love you all. I'll talk to you later.